What's happening, my people? It's your boy Night God here. Look, if you haven't heard of Anchor by Spotify, let me give you the rundown. Basically, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Here's how it works. Anchor lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter where you are or what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you'll take that podcast and distribute it to the most popular listening platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts, with a single click. Anchor is also the only place you can publish video podcasts to Spotify. With Anchor, creators can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to start your podcasting adventure today.
I just shit. So today was a good day. Worked out, showered, decided to go get me something to eat. So on the way back from getting me something to eat, I spotted a black dog. Nothing crazy about that. It's a street animals every day. All the shit, right? So I'm thinking that's a big ass black dog. As soon as I think that the dog get up, turns into a man and start walking. I know it sounds crazy, yep. You heard me. I just seen a dog turn into a man and start walking. Granted, I'm high, but I make edibles. Those are my edibles that I'm on. I've been making them for years. I ain't never had no bad trips, seeing nothing. I've been good, and I ain't even high. You heard it right. I just saw a dog turn into a man. You seen this shit. I seen it with my own eyes. I seen it, and I need to tell somebody.
So, I was scrolling through my feed on TikTok one day when I stumbled on that video. Of course, you know me, had to immediately duet it, and I had to look into it. So, Shapeshifters, right? Shapeshifters is something I haven't really touched on my platform because, I'm not gonna lie, they sounded somewhat far-fetched. I mean, at the end of the day, really, you saw a dog and it shapeshifted into a man. Like, that is a hard thing to believe. But what do I always preach on my platform? Keep an open mind to everything. So, I started to dig a little bit. And it turns out, native shamans and native tribes have talked about shapeshifters for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Oftentimes, they relate them as demonic entities, but I want to say that's not always the case. Nevertheless, I immediately had to duet the video. I shared it because she tells her story with such conviction. You can't not somewhat believe her. So I took the video, posted it on YouTube, and let it garner some views for a few hours. Then I decided to go back and check it out. It had like 30,000 to 40,000 views. The amount of comments was what actually surprised me. So I decided to check them out. And what I found, testimony after testimony of people who recently have experienced the same thing. So I figured I'd go ahead and share some of these stories with you guys in my comment section to get a little interaction with the viewer and give you guys some perspective. It gives people a voice that they never had previously. I mean, how many people admit these kind of stories? Hardly any. But when you get like people in the comment section who have experienced the same things, there's an openness about it that's just pure. So sit back, listen to some of these stories, y'all, and let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I'll get back with you after the video. This was one of the first accounts and it had over 100 likes. It's from Michael Angel. It says, when my birth father lived in the Bahamas, he was invited to have dinner with the local witch doctor. And while the two of them were eating, they heard noises coming from under the house that was on stilts and had open spaces in the floorboards to sweep the dirt out that got tracked in. My dad mentioned, it sounds like you have a pig under the house. And his host said, it would seem that way, but it's actually a spy. They went outside and his host grabbed a broom and started beating the pig with it, telling the pig, never come back. And suddenly, the pig turned into a man and ran off into the night. He saw a lot of strange things while living there in his late 20s and learned how to do a lot of things as well that he passed on to me. It's always surprised me that so much knowledge has always been available to the masses, and yet people know so little. And this isn't the only story you'll hear that involves native tribes and their witch doctors. Check it out. This following story is my favorite of all the comments. You can just tell the way he tells it and what he says. How could he be lying? My great-grandfather was a Navajo elder. He lived without electricity or running water for his whole life. He raised sheep and chickens. It gets so dark out there at night. He told me a man would look in his windows at night. He said his legs were dog legs. He lived in a hogan. It had no front door. The door was just a blanket. The windows had no glass, only cloths, so I could not sleep there at night. I slept during the day. He told me he knew a medicine man who used to be his friend when they were kids. He said he went to his place once while they were having a ceremony. He described to me what he saw. He said 3 men sat around the fire. They threw herbs and leaves into the fire as they chanted. One man held a coyote skin or a coyote's body in front of the fire like a bullfighter holds a red flag. As they chanted, something came out of the fire and launched itself through the skin. The fire spirit and the coyote became one. It ran straight into the darkness. He said it was the fastest thing he had ever seen. He said it was a demon that possessed dead flesh. He said those men wanted to harm or scare someone, so they sent the demon to terrorize them. When they get scared, who do they come to? You got it, the medicine man that witches them to begin with. Then he takes their money for some herbs and ritual prayer advice. Two-faced snakes, using witchcraft to take from the good people. These things are real. If you've seen a dog man, it is not a man, it is a demon straight from the under. It can't harm you if you're pure. I mean, y'all, that's as authentic as it gets. It can't harm you if you're pure? That is crazy. This one is another native account. Shapeshifters. Ask a native person about this who is deep into the culture. Before residential schools, this shapeshifting was taught in our culture to children under 4 years old. Everyone was taught this, but only the gifted could keep this gift past 4 years old. It helped us hunt and scout, helped us stay connected to the earth and everything in it. My grandfather once took me hunting. He turned into a damn turkey, a wild turkey, for a few seconds before shifting back into himself. We came home with 5 turkeys that night, enough for us and 4 other families. That's how you're supposed to use that gift. But then you get people who do it to spy, etc., put bad juju on someone, or scare them into thinking they're crazy. I mean, come on, the number of shared stories, absolutely astonishing. Just wait, there's more. I believe her because we say hi, and all the Muppets who don't understand what hi is, and only a few of us take our most highs seriously. She is one of us for sure. I have a sort of experience happening on and off lately. You know midges you get in the summer? They don't live long, right? They're tiny and normally annoying. Well, this one has been in my room for months. It stays in one part of my room. Last night I asked, "Are you a fairy?" Well, it flew up to my hand. I put my finger out. I had chocolate on my finger. "Do you want some?" It came up to my finger, then shot off. Times are changing. Times are changing. Have you noticed how smart animals are getting? Cats doing sign language with deaf owners. Huskies having conversations with birds, making home with people. Times are changing. A couple of weeks ago, right outside my bedroom window, it was around 2 a.m. I want to say, I heard cats going crazy. So many stray cats where I live, and sometimes possums and raccoons, so it's not new to hear them fight sometimes. One night, I was just about to fall asleep when I heard cats, but not the usual sounds they make. Usually it's one cat or another making the noise out of fear or fighting. But this time, every cat was making noises, when all of a sudden I heard a loud thump. Something fell from the tree. At first I thought it was an animal, but the noise made that followed the thump was so scary. It was a deep gasp for air, but between human-like sounds and or a big creature. Not gonna lie, once I heard all the cats prior to the thump, I froze with fear. Felt very uneasy, so after hearing the thump, I heard a gasp for air. Like I said, the sound that was made was kind of human-like, so I peeked out my window. What I saw till this day, nobody will ever convince me that I didn't see. An animal/human, maybe a wolfman, maybe not. But when I looked out the window, I saw a dog, stray dog, or a coyote, trying to recover from the fall. But when it stood up, it was human. Keep in mind, I saw the animal form as well, and heard it gasp for air, so human-like. We believe it to be maybe a shaman. Oh, and did I mention? The putazo thump didn't match the size of the animal, as if something bigger fell. We also have neighbors who worship death, so we try to keep distant but respectful to all. Peace and love. Wow, y'all. Wow. I'm absolutely speechless at the number of people that are claiming to see shapeshifters. I had no idea. All right, y'all. This is the last story I'm going to tell. Check it out. 2 weeks ago, a friend of mine was at a wedding reception. Calls a relative at night, scared out of his mind. Said he seen a couple looking white as ghosts. They didn't seem right. Later, noticed a horse hoof and a chicken claw on the feet of the guy dancing. He immediately started vomiting and had to be taken out of the reception. That was the friend. There was no sign of the couple soon after. They just vanished from the reception. Others remember seeing the estranged couple but can't recall what happened to them soon after the incident occurred. He had only told just a few people about seeing the animal feet. When I was told this, I remember hearing a similar story as a kid. The story was in the 1950s out of South Texas. Wow, y'all. Just baffling. Truly baffling. I don't know what to think of it all, but really cool stories, y'all. I can't believe the number of people on YouTube who shared this with me and shared with the platform and shared with each other. Truly awe-inspiring. Truly awe-inspiring. This is what we need more of. This is why I do it, man. I really do this for you guys to give you guys a place where you can go, where there's like-minded people, where people won't think you're crazy, where people won't criticize you for telling your story. That's what it's all about, man. This is what it's all about. So I'm going to try and start maybe doing this once in a while when I get good comments in the comment section with people who share their stories. Make sure y'all comment, and on this video, comment if you've seen Shapeshifters or have had any experiences yourself. I'd love to read them, and maybe I'll even share them. I never thought sharing that video would turn into this, but I'm glad it did. All right, y'all convinced me. I'll share one more. Not gonna lie, back in 2008, I was driving wreckers and rollbacks for a towing company pretty far back in the woods in East Tennessee in Dolly Parton's hometown. One night while coming back in with a car on the back, a big, giant black dog, black as coal, ran into the middle of the road and stopped and looked at me as I slammed on the brakes and almost lost the car in the back. He come off his front paws, stood straight up, and was butt naked as a jaybird and ran across the road into the woods. Was told that I was insane and needed to be locked up. I know what I saw, and I didn't use any drugs or even drink at the time. So what happened? It stood up on two legs and then shapeshifted into a man, completely naked, and then ran into the woods. Sober as a bird, people told me he was crazy, shared it with this platform. Awesome, bro. And of course, y'all, as always, for entertainment purposes only, some of this stuff is by witness account, so it's subjective and may or may not be true. So please, take it with a grain of salt, because I don't want to scare anybody at the end of the day, but I want to enlighten people and put stuff out there that isn't conventional. It's out of the box, a little fringe, a little cringe, but end of the day, this is what we're here for. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I got more good stuff coming, more fire content. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about all of the sea animals that seem to be congregating on shores all over the world. Some of them, even whales that are beaching themselves. It's a phenomenon that nobody really knows what is going on. I mean, it's not that it hasn't happened in the past, but it's definitely something weird. There's obviously something going on in our oceans. Could it be that the ice caps are melting? And one claim was that it was opening up deep sea, oceanic caverns and allowing creatures to come through. But at the end of the day, nobody knows. It could be sonar testing. It's all up in the air at this point. It's a tragedy. It's devastating to see some beach whales. But I'm going to cover that and get you guys' opinions. In the end, what do y'all think this was? Was it skinwalkers? Was it werewolves? What was it? Shapeshifters? Let me know in the comments. Y'all know the drill. Stay in the love, stay in the light, treat others how you want to be treated. Night God, out.